$31 billion seawall to save the Texas coastline. Something unusual is happening on the Texas coast, and people can't seem to wonder what Texas is up to. With a $31 billion seawall project, a project estimated to cost $26.2 billion and would take 12 to 20 years to construct, Texas is taking a bold stance against climate change and protecting its vulnerable coastline. In this video, we will delve into the motivations, challenges, and hopes behind this colossal endeavor. Join us as we uncover this ambitious aim to safeguard the Texan coast. What exactly are they fighting against? And will this pipe dream even work? Well, you're about to find out. Texas, USA's oil and gas giant. We've been yapping about climate change and global warming for the longest time. Eco-conscious organizations and campaigns have actively warned of the impending doom that will befall mankind and our home planet if we don't act fast and right. Texas clearly isn't taking any chances. Being the second largest state in the United States, it is not only known for its size, but also for its economic importance within the country. Its thriving cities, like Houston, play a vital role in the nation's growth and development. Houston, with its population of 2.3 million people, is the fourth most populous city in the country. It attracts over 20 million tourists annually and boasts the second busiest container port in the U.S. However, despite its grandeur, Houston faces a significant challenge due to its geographical location and the imminent threat of climate change. Situated at a low elevation, with a downtown area merely 46 feet above sea level, Houston is vulnerable to rising sea levels and hurricanes. This risk is further intensified by its proximity to the Gulf of Mexico. In fact, the region is no stranger to natural disasters, and has experienced its fair share of devastating consequences of such natural disasters in the past. Back in 1900, Galveston, a coastal city near Houston, fell victim to a catastrophic hurricane, resulting in the loss of thousands of lives and making it the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. Although subsequent hurricanes caused varying degrees of damage over the years, the magnitude of destruction reached a new level in September 2008. When Hurricane Ike, a powerful Category 4 storm, struck the area. With 20-foot storm surges, it claimed the lives of 113 people and caused an estimated $30 billion in damages. Considering the scale of Texas and the severity of the risks it faces, it's no surprise that when the state decides to tackle a problem, it does so on a grand scale. They decided to build a wall. Got a problem? Build a wall. At least, that's what Texas believes. At first thought, it might seem futile to see Texas just throwing money into the ocean. But actually, it just might be an innovative effort to combat the impact of climate change in the state. This brings us to the current endeavor, a $31 billion seawall project aimed at protecting the Texas coastline from the effects of climate change. This ambitious undertaking may seem unusual for a state known for its oil and gas industry, but Texas recognizes the need to confront the threats posed by climate change head-on. The issue. Here is what we know about the climate issue that Texas is facing, especially along its coastline. Back in 1900, Galveston, a coastal city in Texas, was hit by a massive hurricane that sadly took the lives of around 6,000 to 12,000 people, making it the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history. But it didn't end there. Over the next century, the region experienced several hurricanes, causing varying degrees of damage. However, a hurricane event in particular, named Hurricane Ike, struck the area in September 2008 and left a significant impact. With powerful winds and storm surges reaching 20 feet, Hurricane Ike claimed the lives of 113 people and caused an estimated $30 billion in damages. Now, here's something to consider. If Hurricane Ike had veered just a few miles further west, it would have directly hit the Houston Ship Channel, which is the largest petrochemical complex in the United States. This complex plays a crucial role in refining gasoline, aviation fuel, and military-grade jet fuel. And what would be the implications? A direct hit to the complex would have been disastrous. resulting in the spillage of approximately 37 million gallons of crude oil and other hazardous substances into the Texas metropolitan area. The consequences would have been devastating, leading to an estimated $100 billion in damages, the loss of more than 500,000 jobs, and the destruction of a key economic engine for Texas. Furthermore, the ecological impact, loss of lives, increased gas prices across the nation, and potential setbacks for the military and aviation industries would have been catastrophic. Unfortunately, the rising sea levels and climate change are making such storms increasingly likely in the near future. A storm, or several, is brewing, and Texas knows it. Experts fear that a future hurricane of this magnitude could wipe out the region's barrier islands and pose a severe threat to the petrochemical complex in Houston. The situation is concerning, to say the least. Given the scale of the destruction over the years, there is now an urgent need to find a solution to prevent such catastrophes in the future. Texas, known for doing things in a big way, needed something substantial. And that brings us to the topic of the $31 billion seawall to save the Texas coastline. So what exactly is this project about? The Ike Dike Project is an ambitious and innovative proposal aimed at protecting the Houston area from hurricanes and storm surges, costing approximately $31 billion. This massive undertaking involves the construction of a comprehensive coastal barrier system that spans hundreds of miles along the Texas coastline. At the heart of the project lies the storm surge barrier system, which is the most challenging aspect to tackle. This system will consist of several enormous gates, spanning the nearly 2-mile gap between Galveston Island and the Bolivar Peninsula. To ensure the functionality of the Galveston Bay entrance, a pair of 200-meter navigation gates will be installed across 3 artificial islands, allowing ships to pass in and out. Additionally, a set of vertical lift gates will be put in place between these new islands and the shorelines. While the gates will generally remain open to allow normal bay operations, they will close in the event of a storm surge or hurricane, forming a formidable seal against the Gulf of Mexico. The gate system draws inspiration from similar structures in Venice and Rotterdam, emphasizing the collaboration between Texas A&M University and Dutch expertise. To enhance protection further, the project includes the construction of man-made beaches, dunes, and improvements to the existing seawall in Galveston. It also involves the restoration of damaged ecosystems and the establishment of a ring barrier to safeguard the city itself. The ring barrier features flood walls, highway and railroad gates, and a new drainage system with pump stations to channel water back out into the bay. This colossal endeavor requires a significant amount of time and planning, and, of course, a ton of money. The main gate system alone is expected to take around 18 years to complete. Extensive research and collaboration have already been carried out, with a comprehensive study conducted by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers in partnership with the Texas General Land Office. Political support for the project was renewed after close calls with hurricanes and the release of the Army Corps' plans for an Ike Dike in 2018. If realized, the Ike Dike project would provide immense benefits to the region. In addition to protecting lives and property, it would save an estimated $2.3 billion annually by reducing coastal damage. The project's importance extends beyond the local economy, as the region's environment and even national security depend on its success. However, not all that glitters is gold. It appears there are some concerns regarding this ambitious project, and Texas has some questions to answer. Major concerns. One major concern is the potential impact on shipping traffic. The construction of navigation gates across the entrance to Galveston Bay, one of the busiest waterways globally, could lead to congestion and disruptions in shipping for several years. This issue needs careful consideration to minimize any negative effects on maritime trade. Another worry is whether the project will provide sufficient protection against flooding. A report from Texas A&M University cautions that the Army Corps' plans may not be extensive enough, leaving the coastline vulnerable to flooding. To address this concern, experts recommend extending the Ike Dike in both directions and inland to prevent water from bypassing the barrier. It is important to recall that the Ike Dike project primarily focuses on safeguarding Houston from storm surges, which are caused by rising sea levels during hurricanes. However, it does not offer protection against the torrential rainfall that accompanies these storms. The devastation caused by Hurricane Harvey in 2017, with its massive rainfall-induced floods, resulted in $125 billion in damages to the Houston area. Therefore, additional measures will be required to address the rainfall-related flooding. Despite these concerns, the benefits of the Ike Dike project for the region are substantial. There is optimism that the federal government, particularly with President Joe Biden's endorsement of a $2 trillion national infrastructure plan, will provide funding for the project. In May 2021, the Texas legislature passed a bill to contribute to the project's construction costs. Currently, the Army Corps is actively working on their plans, which they aim to present to Congress in the coming months. However, there are still obstacles to overcome before the project can commence. The Ike Dike is just one component of the Water Resources Development Act, which is currently making its way through the U.S. government. The legislation includes several other projects, and while Congress has granted approval, certain details need to be finalized before it can be signed into law. Funding is another aspect that requires resolution. It is anticipated that the project will be financed similarly to other endeavors of this nature, with around 65% coming from the federal government and the remaining 35% from local budgets. This would mean that the state of Texas would need to contribute approximately $10 billion. However, given the critical economic importance of the area, which includes numerous petrochemical facilities and large oil refineries, there is confidence that the necessary funds can be raised. Conclusion. So, what do you think? Do you believe Texas is just throwing money into the sea, or is this a necessary step to protect the region from future disasters? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching, like this video and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.